Two things what will happen to you when you will visit Philippines. 1. You will discover new safety standards for you. 2. You will meet the kindest people what you ever could imagine to met.
That's so cute. I have to bring my...
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this video came across my feed and I loved it, right? It was a short clip by a young lady by the name of Miss Janella, I believe. If I said that wrong, love, my bad. Anyways, she was talking about 2 things you'll learn in the Philippines. Of course, the first one tickled my motherfucking pickle. When she was talking about you'll learn about the new safety standards for yourself in the Philippines. And she was riding a Jeep. Yes, the majority of Jeeps in the front seat, the seatbelt don't work. Okay, in the back seat, seatbelts don't exist, right? In the back seat of a Jeep, of a normal Jeep, seatbelts do not exist, ladies and gentlemen. They will pack 17 individuals in the back of that chair. Excuse me, I mean maybe 10, 12 on each side. We'll say about 24 individuals on a long Jeep, a regular standard size Jeep. Fit about 24 people on each side of that bitch, and off we go, right? Quick story about Jeeps. When she talked about safety standards, the reason it made me laugh the most is because I've had some issues with Jeeps in the past. Jeeps are very challenging. They're the cheapest, most affordable way to get around the Philippines, but Jeeps are... It's hit and miss. Depends on the driver. Depends on the driver. Okay, so where I lived in Davao City, most of my Davaoinos or people who've been to Davao can co-sign on this one. I lived in an area known as Toril, T-O-R-I-L, more specifically Iwa Village, Toril, which was not necessarily in Toril proper, but just a little bit before, okay? To get downtown to Altavinco, where Ateneo de Davao is, we'll just say comfortably, it's like a 45-minute ride to an hour ride if I take the Jeep, right? Of course, taxis and other forms of transportation, it'll get a little bit quicker, but Jeep stop. So comfortably, I will say 45 minutes to an hour, okay? Now, on the rare occasion wherein I was coming home late, right? We'll say about 9, 10 o'clock or something like that, and I had to get on a Jeep to go home. The Jeep would pile in, you know, basically fill up before they go home, because usually it'll be like their last trip, or they just want to make sure that they get, you know, full fare from everybody in downtown going to Toril, because of course, if you catch everybody going to Toril area from downtown, of course, the fare or the amount of money that they will make will be more, right? Roughly about 20 pesos on average per person, depending on where they're getting off at. For me, I would just say it's about 20. But here's the kicker. You know how I told you it's supposed to take you 45 minutes to an hour comfortably to get from downtown, to get from where I live to downtown and vice versa? These mud truckers will get you home in about 15 minutes. I mean, they drive reckless as hell. Some of them drive reckless with just reckless abandonment for human life. I mean, they're in and out of traffic, music glare. Like, if you've been on the Jeep, you know the type of techno b-boy music they play, just loud as fuck. I mean, it is just obnoxious to the point where it's annoying as hell, but you know that your ass is gonna get home in about 15, 20 minutes tops, because they have nowhere to stop in between. They run in red lights half the time. They're in and out of traffic, man. They zooming, they booming. They are having the time of their lives, ladies and gentlemen, to get you home at a quick pace in order to run that fare up. I don't know if the man caught his wife cheating. He need to get home to get this bitch or something. I don't know what it is, but my man be driving reckless in them late night hours, man. So when I tell you that Jeeps are hit and miss, especially when it comes to your safety standard and concern, like the young lady said in this video, oh, that's real. I don't think she experienced that part of, you know, Jeep life. You know, during the daytime, they're pretty chill because they're doing a lot of stopping, and, you know, it depends on how full they get, you know, going back and forth, and how often they stop to fill up for gas, or how often they stop to pick up passengers. So it's pretty chill during the day. You're not gonna see them speeding recklessly, especially because, at least in a place like Davao City, you know, the cops would be out, right? You know, damn, what are they called? It's the LTO office, Land Transportation Office, but I forgot what they called the officers, my bad. If you know what the name of the officers are, comment section below. But yeah, at nighttime, man, reckless abandonment for life. I don't even think they care about their own lives, because there's something about jeepneys after dark. Shit gets real, okay? I'm gonna tell you the truth. And if you know, you know. right? And only my people who have ever had to travel distances on Jeeps, they'll know at nighttime. So I think mostly my Filipinos will be able to feel where I'm coming from if they've ever rode Jeeps after hours, man. The shit get crazy, right? Now, the second one, like I said, speaking about the generosity of Filipino people, there's one thing that I want to note, okay? I love y'all. I love y'all. Truly do. I love y'all. So I want to make sure that I say this. I love my Filipino people, and I've told you before in a video prior, man, Filipino generosity is second to none. But sometimes you got to be careful with the ones that choose to help you, or the ones that are actively trying to help you. And the reason I say you got to be careful with them is because sometimes they'll be looking for a tip. Let's keep it a buck. When me and my wife used to catch Jeep rides going to Mangagoy, where she's from, in Surigao del Sur. I probably said that wrong, Mangagoy, something like that. Y'all know where it's at. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. Anyways, going towards Surigao del Sur, you would have guys that would run to the taxi, run to wherever to try to help you with your bags, because that is how they make their money. And then, you know, they're expecting an extravagant tip because you's the 400 man, or you's the 400 woman, right? 50 pesos, 60 pesos. Now, how many of y'all would trip over $1 tip, right? How many of y'all would trip over $1 tip? It's only $1, right? No, it's 50 pesos, it's 60 pesos. That's a big difference, right? And again, I'm not saying that, well, I was cheap and I was a broke college kid, so there was a difference in my line of work and probably how I would probably handle myself there now than what I used to handle myself back then. But back then, yo, I can carry my own bags. Even then, I'd probably still tell you, I can carry my own bags, man. I don't really care for that. And the reason I don't care for that is because, let's be real and let's be honest, man. Like, I don't need you to carry my stuff because I know you're gonna be looking for something extravagant because I am foreign, right? Or at least something extravagant, or an extravagant tip for my wife because she is with a foreigner man, right? So sometimes when it comes to them being helpful, you gotta understand if it's good help or if it's, yo, I'm gonna help you so that you can tip me, right? And for the most part, what I've noticed about most foreigners that come into the Philippines and stuff like that, they kind of feel like tipping culture, like it is in the United States, is the same as it is in the Philippines, but it's not. I've kind of learned that tipping culture in the Philippines is completely different because most of the time it's not warranted or it's not allowed in some places or whatnot. You know, they usually add in service charge and, you know, you're not really, you know, pressed to tip. But from a foreigner perspective, you know, you're not really tripping because you're coming from a culture wherein tipping is, I don't want to say mandatory, but let's be honest, people are looking for you to tip, right? It depends on what kind of services they're providing, etc. So sometimes when they help you guys as foreigners, man, just know that they might be expecting you to tip very well. So salute to the young lady for sharing this video, man. This has been a good time, man. I hope you guys appreciate the video. If you did, please feel free to share, like, comment, and subscribe. Been a good time, man. Y'all take care. Y'all stay blessed. Doc is out.